Overeem did something in the build-up to this fight that I hope you observed and tuck away for yourself. It was a great piece of marketing. But all that Overeem did from a marketing standpoint is every interview he did and everything he talked about leading into this fight, he declared my last title run. So everything he talked about, he's on his last title run. And Overeem must have said this 7 or 8 times, but then I'm reading interviews, I'm seeing memes, I'm seeing clips, I'm seeing headlines of people that took and paraphrased, and they're now saying what he's saying. And it started as Overeem says. But then writers transformed that into them saying, well, Overeem's on his final title run, got a main event on ESPN coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern. And it was one of these things that he created something really wonderful there, and I don't want you guys to miss it. And don't weigh in the fact that he lost. No, I'm talking about the marketing. This was very, very well done. And it comes on the heels of something that Macy Barber did. Macy Barber came out on day 1 and said, I am going to be the youngest UFC champion ever. As a matter of fact, that is a distinguished held by John Jones. And I am X years old, which means I have X amount of months to achieve this. And then she won, and she did the whole bit again, and she won, and she did the whole bit again. But now she's shortening the months. And then she wins again. Now, ultimately, she stubbed her toe against Roxanne. But Macy would have gotten that fight. There was no way around it. We were all saying it. We were interviewing her on ESPN. She's saying this. We're repeating it to the audience. I mean, this is true. This is very good. We have a very good source. Her. And the more I watch this, I'm going, son of a bitch, she's going to get this fight because she doesn't have a choice. I mean, the promotion's not going to have a choice. She is telling Dana White through ESPN, I'm going to be the youngest, and I have X amount of time to do it, meaning you had better give me a title shot or get me beat. And he couldn't get her beat. She going through everybody. She would have gotten a title opportunity prior to that birth date expiring. I really believe that. And there's only so many gimmicks that you can run, right? I mean, it's like music. There's only so many notes. Now, the truth is it's an infinite amount. You just have to think of a new one. Otherwise, you see somebody that did something you want to do, you figure out what they did, and you go copy them. No reason to reinvent the wheel, but every now and then you see a new gimmick. Sean O'Malley is a totally different gimmick than a Conor McGregor or a Rampage Jackson or some of the bigger personalities within the sport. He came out with something totally different. Totally different way of talking trash while still being friendly, still being funny, still being likable, still keeping his confidence. It was different. Then you see the Chimaev experiment. One of my favorites. Only because Chimaev was given an opportunity that nobody else was. He's on an island, and they needed someone to fight in a different weight class. 8 days later, he goes in and does it. So they're like, well, let's hold this guy's feet to the fire. Let's bring him out to Vegas and do this again. They were going to keep that gimmick going, but I only offer that for you because we haven't seen something new in a period of time. This was new, even if by accident, it was something new. But it was extremely marketable, and it was very fun. Even if you go look at Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is largely what the Chimaev experiment was. But in 12 months, he crams in 5 fights. By the way, he gets his hand raised in all of them with a steady increase in competition each time. Now he's a top of the bill guy. I look back. I remember when Eddie Alvarez, and this one got me. Eddie Alvarez was going to fight Justin Gaethje for the title of the UFC's most violent man. And I did not know Eddie created and coined that phrase. That fight was approaching, and I end up on the phone with Eddie like 3 days before the fight. And he's like, hey, what'd you think about what I did there with the UFC's most violent man? What do you mean what you did? He goes, yeah, I'm the one that coined it. I'm the one that declared this is the for the UFC's most violent man. You did? I thought Dana did that. I thought that was like the BMF title. I thought The Office put that on. I thought they were fighting for the title of the most violent man, but that's how well it worked. You remember when Ken Shamrock became the world's most dangerous man? Possibly an influencer to Eddie coming out and doing this fight for the most violent man. But I remember when they walked out there, when Gaethje and Eddie walked out there, Joe Rogan and John Anik told the world, this is for. That's all a title is. I mean, in all truth, that's all it is. You get the announcer who influences the world and says, this is what this is for. And you get both athletes say, yeah, I want that. It's exactly what this is. That's what a title is. Eddie is the most violent man. Ken Shamrock is the most dangerous man. George Masvidal is the BMF. You figure the letters out. Overeem was on his final title run. Macy Barber was going to fight for a title younger than John Jones. And these aren't things that you can just pull out. I mean, there's an organicness, there's an art, there's a thought to this. It's marketing. It's very basic marketing. But I want to bring to your attention some that have been done. The Chimaev experiment. You probably can't copy that one. And you probably just can't get 2 fights in 2 different weight classes in 8 days. It's one of those things. But you can come in with a very positive attitude. Like Kevin Holland, you can come in and have something very interesting every time you're out there. Like Sean O'Malley. And I'm not encouraging you to go out there and be the next Rock or be the next Stone Cold. I'm encouraging you to go out there and be the first you, but you can still draw inspiration from some of these things. Overeem did not mean to be brilliant. He was serious. He's on his final title run, and he was just saying for what it was. But he did bring that into a thing. I don't want that to go under your guys' radar. I want to smarten you up. It was something very smart done by Overeem. It was something very effective done by Overeem. Keep it in mind.